Strength can be defined as the capacity of an object or substance to withstand great force or pressure. 10 of the strongest athletes in the world are about to find out how much they can exert and how much they can withstand. 5 challenges await. The prize, a share of one of the biggest purses in the sport of strongman. Welcome to the 2021 Rogue Invitational from Round Rock, Texas. It is day one here at the 2021 Rogue Invitational in Round Rock, Texas. 2 events on deck, and 10 of the strongest men of the world take center stage here at Dell Diamond, and they will be competing for their share of one of the largest prize purses ever in the history of strongman. The 2021 Rogue Invitational features one of the most decorated fields we have ever seen, with 4 former world's strongest men, including the current holder of that title, Tom Stoltman. The Dragon, Martins Licis, is returning from injury. He is one to watch, along with Oleksii Novikov and Mateusz Kaliszkowski.
Thanks for being with us, everybody. I am Sean Woodland with former Europe's strongest man, Lawrence Chalet. And Lawrence, we're going to start things off with a bang here, a crowd favorite, the 1-rep max Elephant Bar Deadlift.
We are starting with all about static strength. The deadlift, it's the lift that everyone talks about. Who can lift the most weight from the floor to a standing position? These guys need a good start to this contest. We've got a long, grueling 5 events for the guys to challenge themselves, but the deadlift is the showstopper, and I want to see some big 1,000-pound pulls today.
Event 1 is underway, so let's join it in progress as the men take on the Elephant Bar Deadlift. Next up, Rob Kearney, who will attempt 876 pounds.
There's no colors in the mohawk today. He's normally more colorful than this. He's got the color in the leggings and the shades. You often see him drive hard with the quads over the knees, and then he kind of hitches up just like that. He's mastered that movement.
It works out well for him, as 876 is good. Rob Kearney, your new leader after his first attempt.
So watching here again, you see him drive hard off the floor, and then what he does, he pushes his knees forwards, makes the bar stop on the quads, and then drives again. Now, I don't advise it. As a coach, you don't teach people to do it, but he's mastered it, and it works for him.
Now, the first appearance for Brian Shaw as Rob Kearney confirms his score.
Here's the big former 4-time World's Strongest Man winner.
881 for him on the barbell.
Big solid weight to start with, and a good solid pull there. 881 pounds puts him into first place. Brian, not convincing me that he's at his best. I haven't seen his best deadlifting in the last few years, but still massive weights. He's one of those guys that you can just never count out of the contest. He's too dangerous the most.
Tom Stolman is now up. He will attempt 881 pounds to tie Brian Shaw.
Another huge man. 6'9", good solid lift there. Tom's going to be happy with that.
881 for the defending world's strongest man, but 2 men have yet to put up their opening lifts. The conclusion to event 1 when the 2021 Rogue Invitational continues.
The 2021 Rogue Invitational on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Rogue. Don't weaken.
Welcome back to the 2021 Rogue Invitational at Dell Diamond Stadium in Round Rock, Texas. During the break, athletes began to fall as the weights continued to rise in the opening event, and 2 men finally took their first attempts. Mikhail Shivlikov is unable to lift 891 pounds and called it quits without recording a successful lift.
Shivlikov feeling a little bit of a strain in the hamstring there.
JF Caron put up a monstrous 906 pounds.
Wow, look at this
problem.
But the event is far from over.
Martins Licis will now step back up and try to just hit the weight that JF Caron made look like an empty barbell. 906 pounds still on the bar as Licis gets set up.
Big brace, nice and tight. He needs it over the knees, and he's going to get it.
Now, Licis is good at 906.
That's huge for Licis. It's going to give him good points on the deadlift. He's been so worried about this event. It's the only event he felt he could lose a lot of points on. He's confident with the 4 events to come. This is big, big news for the return of the former World's Strongest Man champion.
Brian Shaw now back up for his second attempt at 911 pounds. He's looking to become the new leader here.
Look at the wide stance of Brian. Such a huge mountain of a man. You compare that stance to, say, a Shivlikov, some of the other guys. Completely different, but still effective.
Shaw cannot get 911, so this seems to be the stopping point here. As Shaw will exit the platform. Looks like he's okay, not limping.
Brian Shaw's always so consistent. One of the reasons he's been one of the most dominant forces ever in strongman.
Tom Stoltman is next, and he will also attempt 911 pounds.
A lot of people said I was crazy because I said I think Tom Stoltman can win this event. And look, there we see it. 911 pounds. He's getting stronger every time we see him compete. He's going to be over the moon with that lift. Puts him into first place. That's going to be big points on the deadlift. And trust me, he's got some exceptional events to come.
That looked, I don't want to say easy, but it looked like he may have a little bit more in the tank. But 911 pounds for Stoltman puts him in the lead right now.
Look at that. You can see it on his face. He's happy with that one. He had to work for it. But he's going to be over the moon with that lift. And now we have JF Caron coming in with 926 pounds. I believe he's capable of a lot more. I'm sure he's trying to save as much energy as he can for the later events.
Second of 3 lifts for JF Caron, and this to retake the lead that he just surrendered to Tom Stoltman. 926 for JF Caron.
Straps into the bar. Sit back. Deep breath. And
I mean, just get out of here. That is too easy for JF Caron.
And 926 will give Caron the event win.
He is just laying the smack down on these guys on the deadlift. The confidence in his face.
He is clearly in a class by himself right now.
Right now, no one's touching him on the deadlift today. Look at this. Such a strong guy. He's one of those athletes that just improved year after year.
JF Caron wins the opening event, picking up 10 points. Tom Stoltman takes second, just 1 point back. Martins Litzis gets 8 points in his return, and Brian Shaw and Rob Kearney round out the top 5. Kiki Dixon spoke with your event winner, JF Caron.
Obviously, still 926 pounds is an immense amount of weight. How do you begin to recover for the next event?
Now we have almost 5 hours to the next one. I go eat, maybe 2 times, rest a little bit to prepare for dumbbell. But the good thing, I push maybe 80%, then I'm total fresh.
He's got more in the bag. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks.
When we return, we go from the barbell to the dumbbell. One of the oldest and most famous implements in strongman makes an appearance next at the 2021 Rogue Invitational. Welcome back to the 2021 Rogue Invitational in Round Rock, Texas. After a short break, the strongmen are about to take on the final event of day number 1. We go from a barbell to a dumbbell. The second of 5 events features a historic strongman implement. It's the Cyr Dumbbell Challenge.
That is the final bell on this ladder. 300 pounds, 2 men on the field at the same time. They will try to lift 5 Cyr bells in ascending weight as quickly as they can.
Absolutely crazy. 300 pounds for 1 rep is mental. Doing this as part of a medley, this is going to be one of the most, if anyone can finish this and get that 300 pounds, I'm going to go nuts, because this will be one of the most impressive feats of strength I've ever seen.
Event 2 has already kicked off, and before the second heat of 5 takes the floor, let's take a look at what happened in heat number 1. Poland's Mateusz Kieliszkowski faced off with the Siberian Force, Mikhail Shivlikov, in the opening heat. Both were looking to get back on track after failing to record a successful deadlift in the opening event. After making quick work of the first dumbbell, Shivlikov would struggle with 274 pounds. Kieliszkowski would get the same weight overhead on his first attempt and move on to the 280-pound bell. He would also clear that. Kieliszkowski would meet his match at 290 pounds, but his effort would set him up for a good finish in the event. Shivlikov was not as lucky. He could not get beyond 274 pounds.
Next two athletes out on the floor will be Luke Stolman and Jerry Pritchett.
Luke Stoltman won this event at Britain's Strongest Man just 1 week ago. It's a little bit heavier this week.
And Jerry Pritchett was America's Strongest Man in 2017. 280 is the mark to beat.
Easy lift
and
there
no
for Luke
problem for Stoltman as he clears the 253-pound bell, now moves up to 274.
253 with ease.
Luke gets it set. He's going to drive powerfully with the legs. Needs to get the timing right.
Number 2 on his
Stolman's first attempt is no good. Meanwhile, Jerry Pritchett doesn't look like he's in any hurry to make another attempt at 253.
74.
Jerry looks like he's just going to stand and support Luke now. Luke needs this. 274 pounds. This is heavier than the heaviest dumbbell they had last weekend at Britain's Strongest Man. As dumbbell number 2.
Here goes Stolman's second attempt now at 274.
So the thickness of the handle, it makes it awkward. The roundness of the gloves. He's got to get it set right. If that dumbbell moves while it's on the shoulder, there's no chance.
And Stolman is going to call it. He got through 253, made 2 runs at 274. So Kielakowski still has the top mark at 280 pounds. Jerry Pritchett was unable to complete a single lift.
The organizers really have set the mark with this event. Honestly, it's ridiculously heavy.
Heat 3 up next, and so far, no one has been able to lift that final 300-pound Seer bell and finish the event. But Ukraine's Alexi Novakov is on deck and is someone who could be the first to lift that weight.
Oleksii Novikov from Kiev, Ukraine.
He's getting bigger, he's getting stronger, and he's getting smarter.
For me, the main opponent, it's myself. I must be powerful.
That is a massive, massive win for Oleksii Novikov.
And he goes all the way around. Fantastic.
It's up to the lap. He looks strong. And look at that.
And he's done it.
What an athlete.
Jumping to 300 pounds. He'd be our first man to lift 300. And he sticks it. Awesome.
Why is the world record holder in 2020 the strongest man in the world with ease? It's Alexi Novakov who rules here on World's Ultimate Strongman.
I'm excited to see how Novikov does. He's talked up a big game on this event. He needs to prove now he's here to challenge for the title.
We are underway. Rob Kearney on the right, Novikov on the left. 253 pounds on the opening.
Wow, what a first lift play.
That.
Both of them looking strong, but Novikov absolutely punched that overhead. Look at this technique. Look how fast he is and explosive.
And he is right to work at 280, and we aren't even 20 seconds in here. A 2.5-minute time cap is Kearney is on 274.
280 up like nothing. I think we could see all 3 go up. All 5, sorry, excuse me.
290 to Novikov. This would give him the event lead, and he hits that no problem. And now on to 300, and he's trying to get looks taxed.
He's getting the crowd worked up. Look at this technique, though. He gets it sat perfectly, just behind the neck. Oh, I say that, and this one's a little too heavy to clean. That shows you again how heavy it is. 2 hands, they're trying to get it up to the shoulders. Rob Kearney on the 280. Novikov on the 300. He's got it set perfectly now. He punches. Can he lock out? Yes, he can. 300 pounds.
Clear the ladder, and this crowd loves every second of it.
Wow. Such impressive power there. You look at him and you don't see the biggest guy. You compare him to Brian Shaw or Tom Stoltman, he almost looks small, but every ounce of muscle in him, he packs into those movements. Now he's off to cheer on Rob Kearney.
Novikov clears all 5 Seer bells in 1 minute 5.74 seconds.
That is absolutely brilliant lifting there.
That's so absurd it should be criminal.
All 5 dumbbells, 1 minute 5 seconds. Can that be beat? It's going to take a hell of a performance to do it.
2 heats remain. The leaders in the overall standings square off as they look to take down Alexi Novikov's top time. The conclusion of the Cyr Dumbbell Ladder when we return to the 2021 Rogue Invitational.
The 2021 Rogue Invitational on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Ram Trucks, J.D. Power's #1 brand in new vehicle quality.
Welcome back to the 2021 Rogue Invitational in Round Rock, Texas. 2 heats remain in the second and final event of day number 1, the Cyr Dumbbell Challenge. Only 1 man of the 6 who have gone so far has been able to clear the final 300-pound Cyr bell. That was Alexi Novakov, but 4 athletes remain, and they are at the top of the overall standing.
The crowd has regained its sanity now after watching what Oleksii Novikov just did and is ready to watch Martins Licis and Brian Shaw go head-to-head.
Stand by.
Here we go.
253 up first for both Shaw and Licis. Shaw on the left, Licis on the right.
Another bell clear, another 300
Both men solid with the first dumbbell.
And Martins
Now to 274.
clearing that first bell with ease. Shaw with 274 on his shoulder. Martins.
Shaw looking really strong there. Licis also getting the 274 dumbbell.
2 for 2 so far for both athletes, now on to 280.
Third bell, 280 on their shoulders. Synchronized Seer bell. Going up.
Licis gets it, and that's quicker than Brian Shaw.
Shaw was unable to complete his lift. He'll try to make another attempt. Licis now to 290, 105.74. That's the time to beat. Licis going to have to hurry if he wants to best Novikov.
Get the elbow nice and high. That's important.
And a failed rep for Martins Licis, and that cannot feel good if that weight comes crashing down.
Big weight to come crashing down. Brian Shaw still back on the 280. Can he get this? Just can't quite lock it out. Limping away there.
Shaw pulled up a little gimpy earlier in the deadlift, but was not limping at all. Now it looks like he's really starting to feel the effect of whatever happened to him in that event. Now Martins Licis is done. He got through the 280.
We need to check the time to see who's ahead out of Kiliashkovsky and Licis, but he's put himself into good point region again. And I said that before, his consistency could well be what gets him the win this weekend.
So Shaw's going to call it. He got through 253 and 274. Thanking the crowd here.
Brian looked very easy on the first 2, but it's that third one started pulling up on his hamstring, maybe feeling it as he drove through the legs.
And unfortunately, Brian Shaw looking worse for the wear now, actually, as he hobbles off the field, and hopefully he is okay to continue. Tom Stoltman, the current world's strongest man, taking on your current leader here in this competition at the Rogue Invitational, JF Caron. 105.74 seconds is the time to beat.
It's a nice position being able to go last on an event like this.
253 up first for Stolman and Caron. Stolman on the left, Caron on the right.
Both men getting the first dumbbell.
Now on to 274.
274, the next bell, Caron.
So neither of these guys are rushing. They've definitely got tactics. I think both of them will be happy to get this dumbbell done. Elbows nice and high for both men. Good drive there. Oh, couldn't quite stabilize, but Tom Stoltman does stabilize, and he's happy with that. You can see the relief on his face. Big gasp of air. He can relax now. He's going to take his time and give the 280 as much of a chance as he can. If he can get 280, Tom is going to be extremely dangerous tomorrow.
First attempt, loses it behind as JF Caron is going to make another attempt at 274 pounds.
JF just couldn't quite stabilize on his first attempt. He's got it sat nicely, dips, lots of drive. Problem is, as you fail one, you just start to fatigue quickly.
It looks like Caron is going to call it. So he got through the 253-pound dumbbell. And depending on where that ranks overall in this event, he may surrender the lead.
We just need to see the time now for some of the athletes. But the winner, unquestionably the winner, with an amazing performance, Alexi Novakov.
Alexi Novakov is the only man to clear all 5 Seer bells with a time of 1 minute 5.74 seconds. Martins Licis and Mateusz Kieliszkowski lifted 280 pounds, and 3 men got through 274, including Tom Stoltman. Kiki Dixon spoke with Alexi Novikov.
Alexi, you are the only athlete to get all the way through that ladder, 300 pounds up. You got some fireworks for it, a lot of applause. How did it feel?
It's amazing. It's very good for me, and I'm ready for more weight, and I made the unofficial record in the dumbbell, and I prepare for 150 kilos. So today, very good competition, very good public, and thank you very much for support. You're amazing.
After 2 events, it's Martins Licis on top of the overall leaderboard with 17 points. Tom Stolman and Alexi Novakov both sit 2 points behind him. Brian Shaw and JF Caron round out the top 5 at the end of day number 1, but 3 events remain. A dragon is on top in Texas. Martins Licis' consistency in the first 2 events gives him the overall lead, but not by much. Alexi Novakov's incredible display of one-armed pressing power has him sitting in a tie for second with Scotland's Tom Stolman. Veterans Brian Shaw and JF Caron are lurking and hoping to put the pressure on the overall leaders on day 2. 3 more tests remain, including the most impressive implement ever built for the sport of strongman: force, pressure, and pain. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.